You're gonna probably unfortunately this camera is weirdly placed. Hello everybody! I am Captain Falco of the ZombieCorps along here with my friend Jay Justice. Yo. Peace. Yo, okay? Either way, welcome to a brand new show we're about to do. My bandana is coming off already. Yeah. Sweating balls in here, but it's okay.
Let me stand up.
How you doing?
This new show is called ZombieCorps Second Stab. The basic idea is that we take a look at games that had a lot of potential. Sometimes didn't live up to it, didn't stick the landing, or just ended up kind of crap. And then we look at these games, we look at that potential, and we present like our own take on what we would have done or how we would have fixed it.
Damn it. Sorry, liquid, it just threw me off. Thank you, Bruce.
Yes, and today, for our inaugural installment of this new show, we're taking a look at Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain.
Or as it's known in other countries, the Phantom Pain. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Only the European ones. France gets it all.
Peeny what?
But anyway, so yeah, we're taking a look at Metal Gear Solid 5 today. Now, we can all be agreed that Metal Gear Solid 5 was a good game. A pretty good game, but even the most diehard fans can admit that there was some stuff that didn't quite go as right. And overall, the game feels very unfinished and not up to the Kojima standards overall.
There are obviously some missed opportunities. As much as the game, especially the gameplay, came out very well.
The game plays very solid.
That there are some missed opportunities with the story, along with just the game does a really good takeoff and then kind of rolls down the hill as you get closer to the end. So,
okay. Now, to give a little background here, I am not a diehard Metal Gear Solid fan. I've only really played 2 of the games, 4 and 5, really. A little bit of 3, I guess. Well, I've seen 3. Like, most of my experience with this game franchise comes from him. It's like, played a great deal of 4 with him, and a little bit of 3. I played some 5 on my own here and there. So, like, I'm not a diehard fan. This guy, on the other hand, why don't you go over your background with the series?
I started with Metal Gear Solid 1. I did eventually also get to the original Metal Gears 2 when they got re-released on Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence. But I played 1 Metal Gear Solid, I played Metal Gear Solid 2, I played Metal Gear Solid 3, Metal Gear 1, Metal Gear 2. I played even the other ones like Metal Gear Acid and Acid 2, and I've played Peace Walker, which is, well, it's another big one. Metal Gear Solid 4, obviously both Ground Zeroes and the Phantom Pain.
Peace Walker, consider Peace Walker like 3.5 or like 4.010.
Depending on if you want to count it by timeline or by release order. And I've also played, I've also somehow, I don't remember when I did it, but I do remember the game. I think my stepbrothers had it. I played Snake's Revenge at some point, which is not a canon. Neither is Ghost Fable, which I also played very briefly.
And those old Metal Gear ones are the ones where Big Boss looks especially like Sean Connery.
Well, actually, that one was just in Japan, but see,
it's the best.
I would know that. But yeah, the best version of Big Boss is the Sean Connery Big Boss.
If Sean Connery could play Big Boss on the big screen, you'd love it and you know it.
Yes, but he's like, what is he now? He's like 90 something, and he's retired. it's kind of like we can't bring him back.
If they got him out of retirement and they did an adaptation of 4, they could do it.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about this while our colleague JustIggy on the side there. We fake it this right.
That's a nice.
JustIggy gonna play a little bit.
Yeah. So basically, what's gonna happen here?
He's just gonna go out there with some gold and guns.
No. Start from the beginning here in a second. Okay. So basically, the idea here.
Go to mission 1. Mission 0, whatever the hell it is.
Basically, the idea here is that we're going to take turns. We're going to start with Falco since he's the most familiar with the series. And he's going to present his take on how he would go about Metal Gear Solid 5. I might have some questions for him. We'll shoot the breeze on that. If you guys have any questions, we might answer them. It all depends.
Yeah, feel free to ask if we have the time. We'll answer them.
It all depends and everything, but mainly, he's going to present his idea. We'll go over it a bit, gestate it on a bit, and then we'll switch over to me. Now, as far as this goes, he, being a fan, he likes the game a lot, so he's going to have a more conducive take on, improving the game that already exists. Me, however, I decided to go a little bit radical here and everything. I came up with a completely different idea for Metal Gear Solid 5. And so, we'll go with Falco first, and then we'll go to mine, and I'll take you to Wonderland.
That scared me a little bit. I didn't even start yet.
Okay, but anyway, let's start with you.
It's my awakening.
Okay, so... let's go over what you liked about the game to start with and everything, and then we'll dovetail into what you think its shortcomings were, and then that will help us segue into how you would do it different.
Okay, well, as far as what I liked about the game, there's a lot I do like about the game already. I do believe most of pretty much everything in the beginning as far as story-wise goes should stay, especially in this. I think this is one of my favorite openings of a game almost ever, other than the fact that it goes just a tiny bit slow, but then again, you're supposed to be like half crippled, so it kind of makes a little sense to be as slow as that is. And it obviously amps up really quickly. And as far as the gameplay goes, I think a lot of everything that's done as well is right where it needs to be. They did great with the kind of open world. They did great with the supply drops, the weapons, the bases you can take, everything like that. I do wish that you could, I don't know how, because even in Peace Walker, when you could pseudo-use the vehicles because of everything, you couldn't use a helicopter, you couldn't use a helicopter. But I feel like they should have given you, since you would be able to use the tanks and everything, I do feel that the fact that you couldn't pick up any air vehicles in this from, like, the Fultons, because you were able to do that in Peace Walker. Even if it was just for, like, side, the side option.
I will say, Peace Walker, if any of these two games had the excuse to not do that, it'd be Peace Walker, since it was on the PSP. This is the PS4. No excuse. You're not, objectively more powerful. Come on.
Yeah, in either case, I mean, it was nice that you got to be able to basically roll into the tanks, and there's many times that came in handy. But
I'm just saying there should be animals, and then you Fulton in an elephant, Operation Dumbo Drop.
Well, I guess you could in Africa. I mean, that's all right. I think that's okay. Another thing that I do feel, as far as what I would have did is the beginning and everything. One thing I do want to retroactive go back. I'm going to count it because it's still technically Metal Gear Solid 5. But I'd go back to Ground Zeroes and keep David Hayter as the voice of Big Boss in that game.
You have David Hayter as the voice of Big Boss?
Big Boss. So when this starts up, you've got Venom, who is still voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. Okay, and you have.
Don't you think that telegraphs things a little bit too much?
A bit. We could work around that by saying like Big Boss got. They could have messed with his things and made it so it sounded like Kiefer Sutherland too. So they both have kind of the same voice, even after the fact, because they're trying to make him disappear, right? So he's got to have a different voice too. So they just made them have similar voices instead. Because the guy when you're the medic in the helicopter game in Ground Zero basically, he doesn't have this voice either. It's a much rougher tone. So they changed both their voices to be the same kind of middle ground. So you couldn't really tell who was one was right either. So you can still have both Kiefer Sutherland at this game.
I will say the one thing about the
then it actually throws the player off even more because in Ground Zeroes he was still very paid.
I would say the one thing that about the double Kiefer Sutherland's in this opening is that for me personally, it kind of telegraphs the ending because like before I even knew what the ending of this game was, and I played this opening part, like the moment I heard that they were both Kiefer Sutherland, I was like that plus the facial reconstruction thing and like his face, like you can do the facial reconstruction thing and he comes out still looking like Boss. Plus the double Kiefer Sutherland, I pretty much figured like we're not playing as Big Boss, are we?
Hello. No, yeah, and that was the thing. That was a major thing.
Yeah.
That's why I think if you kept David Hayter as Big Boss in 5, and then you both gave Kiefer Sutherland, as much as that might also telegraph, it might also confuse you because obviously David Hayter was still the voice of Big Boss in the very beginning of development of the game. So that would be a major thing for one. That would be the one beginning major thing. Second, my major problem with the story doesn't really begin until much later in the game. It's around, I would say, it's around near the end of the first chapter when you're getting to finally deal with Skullface. You're finally getting to the point of where you have to possibly...
No. One quick thing. You wouldn't change the name Skullface? I feel that it's a little on the nose. I mean, we've had some ridiculously named people here. But you'd honestly keep Skullface?
Dude, we had a guy, I think, in Metal Gear 1, was it? Was it Metal Gear 1? What was his name? Gooey Duck? Or was it Metal Gear 2?
Coward.
It's kind of, at this point, the stupid names don't really matter to me.
I'm just asking.
Like, it was Metal Gear 1. So I'm not worried about weird names. Like, that's kind of like out the window when, you had that, and you had, the hell was that one other guy's name?
So there's something we need to take care of first.
I forgot the other guy.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on to Skullface here.
Hot Coldman in Peace Walker. Like, okay.
For Gary Coleman, but we're moving on.
That's Gary. No, okay. I'm not even going to go there. That's a whole other problem, okay? Skullface is probably, even though way on the nose, is still better than those ones. So that's okay. I'll keep Skullface in the name, and that's fine, alright?
Now, another thing about Skullface is, like, I think the game really underutilized him.
That was what I was getting to. By the end of Chapter 1, you've seen him a couple times, and it seems kind of underutilized. Like, he's not really used very well. Like, at first, I understand, like, keeping him in the shadows. At least that makes sense. But as you go on, I feel like you should have had a little bit more to him, a little bit between... Like, the first time you finally really get to sit down and sadly talk to him, that's what you're doing. You're sitting there talking to him in the back of the truck, which you're not really actually saying anything. He's just explaining this whole thing. And then when he's finally done, what happens? You sit there in silence for, like, a half an hour or two, afterwards.
And basically, since he's the main villain of the game, we should know more about his plans and why he has a hate boner for you other than... I'm jealous that you get all the credit.
Yeah, and it's kind of, that's kind of it too.
It's a weak motivation for everything he does. It's like, if you're gonna build a giant killbot and try to take over the world, you should have a better motivation than, you get all the credit.
I cleaned up all your mess, how dare you.
This is
It's kind of like, but weren't you hired for that job? You knew this.
It's like it was in the description. It was $8.50 an hour. And Big Boss gets all the credit.
That's how this works. Anyways, so yeah.
Dental. Wasn't that enough?
So yeah, near the end of chapter 1, I feel there should be a couple of more missions. One where he explains himself a little more thoroughly. One where you have a couple of backwards between you trying to kill him a little bit. You know, I don't say it's hard, but you know what I mean. You're actually trying, struggling with him, and he gets a little injured before the ending. You know, before you actually have to deal with Sahelanthropus, which Sahelanthropus I love as a Metal Gear. I love it as a weapon. I don't like how he just kind of gets rid of Skullface for you, and that's kind of shitty to me. I feel like maybe he could have maybe trapped Skullface in there, but not got him to the point where he's incapacitated, where you just go up and shoot him.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of stupid to me. Like you trapped him in a building and you gotta go finish the job, and you have like a thing where it shows how basically badass Skullface was supposed to be. Because he's supposed to be cleaning up all your mess, so he's got to be almost just as good as you to get to do all that.
I would imagine, or else it's like having mentally handicapped janitors cleaning up after Matt Damon from from the movie where he was the genius janitor. What was that? Oh, Good Will Hunting. Yeah, it's like it's like having Scruffy clean up after Matt Damon from Good Will Hunting.
Thank you. In either case, so I have a fun around with Skullface after you took out Sahelanthropus on that time, anyways, of course. And then after you go through that, you recover Sahelanthropus to your base. You know, you didn't want to use it obviously, but you have like all that, and you get into chapter 2. That's where things start to change a little more dramatically for me. I feel chapter 2 was...
Just a quick warning here, Metal Gear Solid plots get a little crazy here and everything, so this is going to be a very involved plot.
I completely understand that, so that's a big deal. I
This plot's a little complicated.
Yes, it is. This is very much so. There's obviously some... there is some parts I do want to keep. Obviously, I still want to keep the part where Hugh ends up being the douchebag that he is and ends up killing his face. That's still a very emotionally charged point that I want to keep.
So, like, quick recap. You keep basically the entire game the same up until chapter 2.
Well,
the end
of chapter 1, where you're actually having more motivation with the bad guy.
Okay, so a few more scenes with Skullface peppered in at the beginning. So, okay, so this is where we're dovetailing here.
Yeah. So then when you get to chapter 2, I feel that they spend a lot of time like wondering who the spy is, basically, because they got pictures up with Big Boss watching you and all that. But I don't think that's exactly what they should be going with. I know that's obviously going to be a problem, but even as Venom and who he is, he still has Big Boss's memories, obviously. He'll remember that Kaz was obviously playing for the other team and Peace Walker to a point. Not like that. Actually, he's both. I believe. Isn't Kaz bisexual? Pretty sure he is.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Kaz is bisexual, isn't he? Yeah, okay.
There's nothing wrong with
So he's, in either case, I'm just saying, I didn't mean to just completely dismiss that part, but the point being...
No, this is where that becomes the focal point of this renewed pitch. But anyway, moving on.
In either case, so I feel that in order to help too with that disarmament ending, right, that we're supposed to be getting if we get rid of all the mimics, which is probably never going to happen now. Everybody was really trying to do it, and then at some point it got really close, and then everybody kind of gave up.
We know the fact in that universe it definitely did not happen. All the snake be dealing with that like well into Metal Gear.
Well, the funny thing is that in the supposed ending, right, as soon as it happens, as soon as you go back into the game, it's Ocelot telling you that somebody's already developed another nuke, so it doesn't matter anymore. Like, you whirl the disarmament, but it's already ruined. Like,
It lasted a glorious 12 hours.
it was a minute and a half. So, the point is that I feel that, you and Kaz and Ocelot should maybe have a conversation where it's about maybe we should be doing something to help disarm nukes from the world, doing that, like trying to push towards that in that sense. So for a little while, you're still running on like this good guy kind of thing. Like, okay, we're trying to do something better, and I feel maybe there should be a couple missions where you start to see Venom kind of go in that direction, where he's starting to change a bit more too, where maybe he does some questionable tactics of going to, really give these people these nukes, and maybe he keeps them instead of not starting them like he's supposed to. Obviously, Venom isn't as bad as actual Big Boss, but there is of course correlation, and how much Venom keeps, keeps himself as Big Boss at the same time. Because Venom is very guilty of a lot of the same things that Big Boss did, because of how they operate.
Yeah, I have a question about that for you. Okay, so we know in the game that you're playing as Venom Snake, the guy who's supposed to be a stand-in and distract people from Big Boss. But the thing is that we don't get to learn a lot about who Venom is personally, aside from him just being a Snake stand-in. So, would you do anything with that? Would you add in more things where we get to learn like about how Venom feels about all this, and like does he even really truly believe in what Big Boss is doing, or is he just kind of going along?
Well, it's going to add to the fact that when I get pushing that, I'll explain in a minute.
Get more missions at least.
Oh yeah, no,
him solo.
Yeah. I think maybe. Well, I think with the missions in between, obviously, going into Chapter 2, who are trying to, disarm but go through it, and yeah, him kind of finding himself, and I would say maybe him having some stuff, this isn't what I used to stand for, why am I doing this, why am I different than what I remember, as far as that, and that's when you start to think maybe the hospital changed him more. Obviously, he doesn't know at that point. No, not like that. But maybe he did extensive.
How accurate was the surgery?
That's the question. That's a big question. Regardless. So, what would happen, I believe, once you got closer to the end of Chapter 2, they would still have Huey do the thing like you're getting ready to hit, I would say getting ready to hit another maybe another major base, maybe a Russian base that has more nuclear armaments, and you're going to specifically go there and take them or disarm them or whatever the case is. And then the thing with Huey happens, and the troops get fucked up and kill a bunch of them, and he kind of gets back to emotional of taking care of his people and kind of abandons that hunt for this, hunt for these nukes things for a while. Obviously, you can continue that mission later through FOBs and whatever. And you get rid of Huey, which is the spy thing at the same time. Obviously, a little bit more downplayed in this version. But once you do that, I would finish up the storyline with Liquid, which when he takes the Philanthropist and goes to the island with the kids, and you have to go down there and hunt him down, which I think should be a couple, maybe a couple missions long, with you fighting Philanthropist at the end. A much tougher and much more enclosed area possibly, to make it even harder. And make it so that you truly have to destroy the thing straight up. Like, they bring it down in the normal kind of thing, but you gotta really rip it apart in this one, so you gotta do overkill on it. Like, you
the old MGS cage match.
Yeah. So you really gotta call it airstrikes repeatedly, you've gotta pick apart at its, specific, hinges, limbs, and everything. Then you
Peace Walker?
Yeah. kind of like Peace Walker, obviously to a more advanced extent, because like in Peace Walker you destroy a part, and like some of the small parts obviously they go away, but other parts they're just kind of damaged and don't work as well. I mean, like, you destroy freaking Sahelanthropus' shield, it doesn't come back, you destroy its arm or rip off its fingers, you know, stuff like that. I bet you could do it well enough. Obviously, you're aiming to rip off the whole limb and not just a little bit, you know. But, and then if you disable the head completely and rip that off, then, you know, game's over quicker than that. But, after that, obviously, the Liquid, and Venom have their little thing on the islands, and you have
what do you? Now the thing.
Here's another thing.
with Liquid and Venom, talking about the whole Eli situation, right?
Well, in the Lord of the Kingdom of Flies deleted episode is where I'm getting this part from, obviously.
Okay, yeah. So basically, you're adding it back in, but you're altering it just a teensy bit.
Yeah. But in either case, sorry, I lost my place for a moment. There's one other thing I wanted to finish up at this point. Because at the end of the Kingdom of Flies situation, you have Eli, you know, basically yelling at Venom about how he's better than his dad and like all that stuff, which is funny in retrospect, obviously. But you know, there's the point where Venom gives him the gun and says, "You're pretty good. Well, go kill yourself because you know you're infected and you're not doing anything, and it's better than burning alive with everybody else on the island because they're gonna napalm the whole fucking island."
Napalm, God's carpet.
Okay. In either case, so
Justice.
Anyway, so would
you leave Eli's involvement at that, or would you add more with him in?
I would leave Eli's involvement at that for the most part. What I would add to it, just for the little bit, is that obviously the little boy, the gas mask, has been following around the whole time, and he's been subtle, and his thing kind of obviously doesn't matter other than trying to get them together in that place. But I think at the very end, when Eli's like pissed off and he's like, "Alright, it's not over yet," kind of thing, you just have like the boy in the gas mask didn't say basically anything until this point, and then right as that's about to end, the boy goes, you know, "Good boy," just like that, because that's another kind of quote from Psycho Mantis, which would effectively confirm that he's Psycho Mantis.
Bum bum bum.
Obviously, because there's a ton of, you know, conjecture on that he is Psycho Mantis, but there is no direct correlation evidence other than what they do and what they do together. But I feel like just a little
counterpoint.
Sure.
I'd say that my version of that would be Eli would go up to the gas mask kid and he'd be like, "You like killing people? I like killing people. We should be best friends."
That's horrifying. Okay.
And then they were.
So, with that, and then like that, I would then actually give yourself, because that would be chapter 3, which would be with Eli. I would give yourself one last one on chapter 4. And that chapter 4 is all about building back to Outer Heaven. And what it is after, obviously his guys died, after, like, finally eradicating the parasite, after dealing with Eli and all that, you know, finally, you get to a point where, you know, Kaz and Ocelot are going over, you know, what we should do next. And Venom now in this kind of state of we need to protect our soldiers. We need to protect more than just our soldiers. We need to protect more, you know, world soldiers and keep them in a place where obviously there's a place for them, which is the same kind of doctrine that Big Boss has for his island. And obviously at this point they would share kind of that thing because he's still dealing with those memories. So you would be tasked with finding another. You would be given another place to put a base, which would just be on like land, because the Outer Heaven's on land, in the original Metal Gear, which is the point. What you're going to do now is you're just building that. Obviously there's some missions in between, where you're getting a lot of people recruited to your side, setting up everything, dealing with local rebels, getting them to join you. That way it's a lot faster. There's a lot more of that, and slowly you build up on that. Slowly you build up on that more by just kind of setting this stone pieces, and then you kind of have, I would say, kind of have a little bit of a time lapse. You see how all that grows within a couple of years. You go through all of that nice, nicety and shit and stuff.
How much of a time lapse are you thinking? Like, how it would be handled?
Well, I think the year difference between Metal Gear 5 and Metal Gear 1 is... Does Metal Gear 1 take place?
1995.
Yeah, 95. It's 11 years. I think within the game you can kind of obviously stretch how long some of these events have taken. So you can cut a couple years in between the beginning of this till before the time lapse, so I'd say 3-4 years give or take. So you end in like 88, and then the time lapse happens and you got maybe 7 years to show kind of how the base builds up, how Big Boss's name continues to grow, how all that happens.
What's happening out there?
I'd have then, you'd have like, it would show after the time lapse, you'd have 1 or 2 missions setting up for what Ocelot's telling you is there's some sort of U.S. or some sort of involvement that they're looking at Mother Base more specifically. We need to be ready in case they go to attack, anything like that. And after you get everything ready and put together, Ocelot says, Ocelot comes to him and tells him, we've lost a lot, obviously, cause of this anymore.
Would you explain that a little bit more about like how Big Boss is managing to run Foxhound and have this side project going on at the same time? Like at the very least, add more tapes, like explaining that, because it's like one of the big things that's not explained in this series about like how he managed to pull that much wool over that many people's eyes for that long.
Well, I would say that Venom is still sort of kept in the dark thanks to Ocelot.
Yeah.
Well, I would put maybe...
I'm just saying, like, adding more of that into it.
And I understand. And what I'm saying is that maybe even Ocelot has convinced Venom at this point that technically Venom is in charge of Foxhound, as far as it says, right? On paper. He's in charge of Foxhound on paper. But no one actually sees him. So anytime you would be questioned about it, it's like, oh, of course Big Boss is in charge of Foxhound. And he would hear that, but he wouldn't know that there was an actual Big Boss dealing with Foxhound, because real Big Boss is actually training Foxhound. Ocelot kind of keeps him in the dark, and you have Kaz, and it's like Kaz is over in Foxhound, he's helping them, he's bringing the good word of Big Boss, and who's in charge of this unit and everything. And you have Venom go there once or twice or something, just in story, obviously it's a bit changed, it's a bit different than that, but Ocelot keeps that. So you get everything together, you get it to where it seems that Ocelot, is like, all right, we have home base ready in case this goes south. We do all this shit, this crap and everything. All right, I need to go out on another mission, but here's something for you specifically. I want you to listen to it. It's from an old friend. Something like that. And he gives him the tape that says,
Pause? Chico?
No.
Is it Cold Talker's greatest hits mix that he was talking about?
Well, he's smoking the pipe? Yeah, exactly.
He was just on the radio all day long, just cutting the mix.
So the tape says, of course, the man who sold the world. And you go into the thing, you listen to it, obviously it's that.
Venom's a good choice.
Venom has that kind of flashback where he finally realizes who he is, what's going on, how much how he's been poked through his eyes. Like it would be a very long con to where he wouldn't know until then. Because what would happen now is that when he flips the table over, it talks about Operation N313, which is Metal Gear 1, not Metal Gear Solid 1, but Metal Gear 1. And what happens is that it tells him operation is taking place basically in a few hours. You need to be prepared for Solid Snake to show up. This is new recruit. That is the other laissez-faire issue. You need to kill him, and you need to deal with this, basically.
Mom! It's like, now you're telling me?
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the point. It's supposed to be this thing where Big Boss goes, well, here you go. And Venom just had to sit there with his hands like, what the fuck? And so as you're preparing for Solid Snake, you know, in story it just shows like him kind of getting ready, but it's him now doubting himself because he is no longer Big Boss and he now knows that. So it's kind of that mystique, and it plays back to Metal Gear itself, which the whole point of a lot of Metal Gear Solid is that you can pretend, as long as you're told, as long as you act, as long as you fit the part, you can be that part. And you're basically, it's a placebo effect of a soldier. As long as you think you are that part, you can be. That's the whole point of like Raiden being basically being trained to basically be like Snake in Metal Gear Solid 2. Like it's all of that part. And I think it would go back to it in an even better way, which is basically Venom was about to believe Big Boss, so he was Big Boss as far as he knew until this fucking tape. So the last few things is basically you arming up as Venom to go fight Solid Snake. Your bases going down around you. You hear that your Metal Gear's been destroyed. Which, just a footnote because I was going to mention that. But as far as like Venom when he's building out or having everything, he does talk to Asa and say, I do need a Metal Gear or something to deter, but I don't want something as large. So Philanthropist will cause too much. It will attract too much attention. We need something a little more low key.
Now this whole last part right here, this whole last chapter, is this whole thing like big chunky chapter? Like after he learns that he's not boss, is this a big whole chunky chapter size, or is this like more smaller? Like how much longer are you gonna go to explore this after the revelation part? Because in the original game, the game just ends right there, which is kind of BS.
I would do a full big mission, one big large mission of him getting ready and trying to deal with Solid Snake. The reason being is that I want him to be stuck in his own head. I want him to be stuck in his own head, doubting himself. If he was given enough time, he could sit there and kind of unstressed and be like, you know what, I'm still as badass soldier as I've always been. I've been doing it for how long? But as long as he's stuck in his own head going, I'm not actually the boss. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can do this anymore. Like, I'm going to deal with a clone of him, and I'm just the body double. Like, it's kind of that deal. So he kind of goes into it getting aware and prepared. I'd say maybe, our mission is him trying to counter Snake, send people out and it's not doing any better, and trying to send piece of information. But, maybe not an hour, but maybe 30 minutes or so. Give it like a big enough mission that it seemed that way. You get to explore the original base of Metal Gear, and then you get to the fight. He fights Solid Snake. Solid Snake is voiced by David Hayter. That way it goes back around. You fight him to a point, and you can damage him to a point. You still lose, obviously.
So is it like a BS fight, or is it something that you can actually like play and like try to win? I mean, like storyline wise, it's gonna end up the way it's going to end out. But how is it going down the game?
I would say if we were gonna, I mean, obviously they've changed a few things to begin with anyway. As far as story-wise, I would say there's an ability to beat Solid Snake, but when he goes to finish the job and kill him, like the base is in self-destruct mode as it is anyway, so maybe a malfunction and an explosion and leaves Venom injured, so Solid Snake is losing their dying anyways, because in the original game, when you kill him and his body just disappears, it's no longer. So, but Solid Snake at that point, as much as he's a well-known soldier, after going through the revelation that his commander is the one who's the base, and the base is going to blow up, if he's injured to the point where he can't fight, Snake Fighter is taking off. He's not going to sit there and wallow. He's going to go, because he's not going to get blown up. Fuck that. So, no matter what, even if you beat Snake, I'd say either you get like an achievement or an extra bonus to beat him, or you can aid him beat all thing, making the fucking hardest AI in the game if you want, obviously he has a lot of health. And, well, it's kind of the point though, then I would say, at least to keep it, kind of messed up and everything, you get some Venom, like sitting on the ground, like bleeding out, and just kind of watching his world go away. And there's a comic going around that, as much as I like it, I don't think it would be better. I think it would be better, but it just kind of died alone. The sad body double that he really was, instead of fits with the series. The comic going around shows that he is a rating until it's over, like basically being destroyed at Snake One. I don't, as much as I like it as a fan, I don't think it fits as well with Metal Gear as far as it. And you have, I think you would just show Venom dying, alone, bleeding out. An alternative you could have is that one, or you could have the same thing where he bleeds out, you have the base explode, and it just shows an ending where it's all Snake getting out of the base and calling, whatever, mission over, reporting back. It's over.
With the classic David Hayter.
Yeah. And that's as far as how much I changed in the story.
Okay.
I think obviously this beginning part is a good solid half a game with some changes to it can be made, and then you make the whole rest of the half of the game, which starts at Eli and then him growing older and going through all that.
So that last half, you wouldn't have it be a full chapter, but like a really big super mission. So essentially, the game still kind of ends at the revelation, but of course, you're adding on like a whole epilogue portion where we deal with Venom specifically as like a whole like super chapter thing.
Right, and him now, obviously, now knowing he is no longer Big Boss, and now kind of, as much as he's not showing it, the outside, he's freaking out on the inside. You can tell by how he's shaking. You can even have him you hearing his inner monologue of like his mind freaking out of like, what the hell? Why was I put this way? Why am I now stuck in this? And why did he have to tell me right before I went and fucking fought his clone? Because obviously this doesn't help me in any situation. He's not about it's not about
I've been filing his taxes this whole time.
Exactly, that's a big issue he needs to know. So.
Okay, but one last thing about your identity. Okay, so that whole like defending the base part against Snake and everything. Like, how does that work gameplay wise? Is it gonna be like? Is it going to be an add-on to the whole build the base minigame thing for that they actually have in 5, or will it be like a separate kind of thing where like in real time you can see Snake moving around, monitor like how is it going to break down gameplay wise?
I would do the real time, kind of watching where Snake kind of slowly go over this monitor-wise, and you can play with the original story a little bit more. By instead of just him encountering the enemy, like encountering the major bosses or anything, you'd be Venom himself, and you'd talk about how you'd give the order, go take care of him, go deal with him, and you'd watch as they get horribly cut down because of how good Snake is.
So in summary, your idea leans hard into the theme of people feeling like disposable soldiers. With like everything culminating in like the big, Venom, trying to face down the clone of Big Boss, but ultimately it fails, and at the end, he's left the guy who did all this work for Big Boss is one of the disposable soldiers, kind of mirroring Skullface in a way.
Yeah, basically, and it also brings back to the fact that Big Boss is the bad guy. He turned one of his best soldiers, most loyal, and his body doubles. Basically gave him this all Snake to kill. Because I would not think in any way, shape, or form you would give your body double, who's believed it was himself, believed it was you the whole time, a tape telling you that you're not me right before you go fight my clone, to make you fucking have your mind full of all these questions of what the fuck.
Dude at least earned himself an ice cone. Yeah, so essentially it's basically just taking the ideas of the game and then just pushing them to their conclusion. A conclusion that was not reached in the main game.
No. So yeah, that's exactly what. Exactly what my point would be on that.
Okay. And then, like, definitely lasting heritage. Would you add any other themes? Like, would you do anything different with Quiet? Or any of the other characters?
I mean, obviously Ocelot stays, and he has to kind of be, the thing throughout. Cos will leave and go to Foxhound and deal with that. As Quiet goes...
Is she even still in your version? Does she at least wear clothes?
She is in my version. I thought it would be interesting, and I guess this is maybe just kind of a fan service, at least in my opinion. Not the clothes part. That unfortunately, at this point,
I will say, like this one is all on Kojima. Here, you can't blame this on Konami. But like he said, like, oh, there's gonna be a good reason why she looks like it, and you're gonna feel bad. No. Your story was bull. It was just an excuse to dress her like that. It got really worse with her backstory.
I'm thinking,
just admit what you did.
I'm thinking because he's gonna want that no matter what. It probably just stay that way. But as far as fan service and obviously the sexual way is what I'm trying to put out.
But you personally, because like this is like from your viewpoint about how you do anything. Like, would you change that?
I would. At least if he wants to stay with that. That read-through skin thing or whatever. Obviously, they've had freaking like the old man in 3 that just needs the suits or whatever. Fine, without her shirt. Does she really need to have her full fucking pants off and be in like this weird ass thong?
There's an alternate costume where she's like wearing sniper full outfit. Like, how does that look?
Yeah, that's another thing, obviously. But I mean, you have the other alternate costume where she's just in the original garb she was at the very beginning of this. Which is fine. She's still a badass, and they would like to keep her that way, but I think it's maybe a fan service you could do.
She also just wears mesh.
Yeah. There's a point in the original Metal Gear Solid that you find out. There you go.
I don't know why that never came up.
But there's a point in the original Metal Gear Solid where you find out that Naomi Hunter is not really her real name, and you could. And she just got the name basically thanks to Gray Fox and Big Boss. So you could even have Venom find Gray Fox and Naomi Hunter, and the girl I'm saying because the original stories that the original disappeared in the Middle East, someone died. Well, that's kind of what happened Quiet. Why not just redo that? Her name is Naomi Hunter. You give her all the Quiet stuff. You say, here you go. There's your new name, your new thing, your new purpose. And Gray Fox obviously goes to Foxhound. So, he goes and actually meets the real big boss with Naomi Hunter. And then Foxhound gets captured. That's how Metal Gear 1 starts anyway. Gets recaptured and going into doing this. I say Gray Fox is just part of the whole thing. Anyway, he eventually turns into the second one and fights for Big Boss anyway. So he's just privy to all this information and he's just on your side. So, and as far as he has played the part in the number 1 to be caught.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's interesting. It's like, it's definitely a lot better than what we got for an ending.
Yeah, as far as all the rest of the other characters, I think there's something as much as it's like Volgan, and I get it, but I don't know.
Would you make Man on Fire Volgan, or would you just drop that entirely because I don't think it's necessary. Like, they don't do anything with it. He could have just been a bad guy.
I'm okay with it being Volgan.
Would you add a mission?
But I would add like another major thing where, because in the end, all it ends up doing for Man on Fire Volgan is you pick up his body and he wakes back up and finds out that you're not actually lost, and then freaks out and dies again. So it's kind of like, why can't you have one more mission where you're like, trying to put him down and being like, he's
Come on, Elizabeth!
and you know, you go through that, and then he finds out you're not Big Boss, and then yeah, he can die or whatever from that point. But I think that's fine. Paz is perfect in every capacity. He's the crazy fucking guy who wants to get revenge and kill everybody. Ocelot's fine, obviously, you just expand on that role. I already talked about Skullface, so we don't know that. And Quiet's good as long as you got his mesh or a little bit different in comparison. It doesn't have to be fully recovered, I don't think. And you can give her a little bit more of that virus and go back to that. At least
Where does she go? Oh, yeah.
yeah, she disappeared. You know.
Okay, so, yeah, it's good and solid with me and everything. I think it takes the ideas of the game as presented and, conclude to begin with. It's basically satisfying to me.
Yeah, I tried to make the most out of what we were given without editing too much. I think there's a lot of good potential in this thing. That's the point.
I think it's a little weird to, like, end the game with a boss fight. You can't win, but then again, I love the Crisis Core. It's the same idea. Where you get a bulk fight at the end, then you can't win and everything. I feel like if the drama's there, you know, if it survives that, you know, the whole thing about getting the character beats and story progression to where it needs to be in order to earn it. And that whole disposable soldiers thing is, like, I think the key to it all. Okay, but anyway, moving on to my idea. And here the interesting thing is, like, I have notes. I have a lot of notes. I decided to go in a different direction.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't tell me everything, but you gave me a brief summary of it, and I'm kind of concerned. But that's okay.
I decided to go in a different direction, and it's predicated on the main premise that I believe that the story told here in Metal Gear Solid 5 is, quite frankly, a little unnecessary. Because ultimately, all it really tells you, like, it's a good story, but ultimately, in the grand scheme of the Metal Gear Solid storyline, all it really tells you is why there were two big bosses in the old 6-bit era games. Which is something I really don't think needs explained. It needs explained. 8-bit games. 8-bit games.
Thank you, JustIggy.
Yeah. I don't think it needed to be explained, really, because, you know, it's a thing. The storyline, like, you know, again, it was a good story, but ultimately pointless. Too point. So I decided to go with a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 4 and Revengeance. Yes, I'm keeping Revengeance in the canon. Now, I'm going to outline something right here. Falco is not a fan of Reagan.
Okay,
I kind of like the guy. I'm not going to say I'm a super fan. I give Metal Gear Solid 2 more credit than most people do, because, again, I'm not super overly attached to the series. I'm not super overly attached to Snake. And I thought it was, you know, it was a very bold statement to try to introduce a new character to the canon. I think maybe the fake out probably wasn't a good idea if they had just, like, left out the fake out and just told you, like, this is gonna be a story about someone working with Snake and, like, you know, having a journey paralleling Snake and all that stuff and everything. It would have been an easier pill to swallow. You know?
I think that's amazing. I will be honest, I do like Metal Gear Solid. I do. For a lot of reasons, a lot of things that are obviously important to the story. But yeah, Raiden is definitely not my favorite character. It's not my least favorite character, but... And even...
Really favorite character.
Oh, that's a hard one to toss up. I think if I had to say my least favorite character, it's probably... Huey. I really, really hate Huey. And it's really sad because I really used to like Huey. But after this game, like, there's no, anytime I think of him, I just think of, like, the douchebaggiest douchebag. Like, because of, like, how he basically made himself believe that he's innocent when he's not, obviously, and you go through that, and how he's basically sacrificed all these lives when he's not supposed to be the violent one, like his son, but obviously Huey's a lot worse than his son. I mean, he could be sitting in a tree and Venom would go, "How'd you get up there?" And he'd be like, "I fell." And he'd believe it.
I'm gonna tell you, my least favorite character is the End's parrot. I'm gonna tell you right now, it's because that parrot sells you out.
Okay. Of course, when I fought the End, I'd shoot the parrot so it wouldn't, but of course it just pisses him off even more.
Even more reason to hate that parrot.
And you need the sweet parrot meat. Alright.
You should eat that parrot meat in front of his face.
I don't think you like he's just out there, he's just gonna play the crosshairs and like,
And then, son of a...
he's wildly shooting in your direction.
Tastes like the Colonel's fried chicken!
Snake, are you under fire? Yes. Sounds like a machine gun. No, he's just firing wildly everywhere.
Okay, but anyway, yeah, so my idea is a sequel to Metal Gear Solid 4 and Revengeance. It's going to take place, Revengeance takes place, I think they said, 4 years after 4?
I think it's a little bit longer than that. Because almost 8.
Well, anyway.
5 years? Maybe it's 5. Maybe it's only 5 years.
Mine takes place a couple years after Revengeance.
Okay.
And, okay. So,
Olga, sorry, Olga. Sonny.
You know what? Silence, maybe even, the monkey is on my list.
The monkey! This game's still worth getting, even though we're kind of
Again, this is a good game. Okay, but my idea is going to get weird here a bit. Not as weird as Venom seeing a giant flaming whale and then Ocelot strolling up on a white horse like a knight beckoning a shirtless Snake to come with him.
It works somehow.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
it's still bad. It's still badass.
Mine takes place a few years after that, so we're at least about 8 years out from Metal Gear Solid 4. Alright? And we begin, and most Metal Gear games start off with a big ending. I'm gonna start mine off a little bit quieter. It starts off with, you just see, it's a dark room, and then there's a hand just grabbing a bunch of pills and stuff and swallowing down everything, and pan out and you see it's Snake, Solid Snake, alone in a room by himself. Now the thing with Snake in this game is, this is something that we'll kind of peel back a little bit later, but I'll tell you, just to give you an idea of where Snake started off in this game, is that in the intervening years, he took a couple years off because again, old and dying. But he had some therapy and some medical stuff done, and basically, they couldn't really reverse a lot of his aging, but they definitely managed to help his health. And so he's still,
you've kept him alive a lot longer than he used to.
Yes, basically, the idea is he's back to a normal-ish health, a normal-ish lifespan. He's got a normal-ish human lifespan. He's still old. But he's definitely not where he used to be, okay? And that's something you can instantly tell. So basically, he's kind of in the old man Logan area. That's what I'm picturing for this version of Snake.
Okay.
It's he's still old, he's not quite withered, but he's definitely on the back end of his good days. Okay? Good. So he takes his medicine, because he's older and he has to keep his health up these days. And then he leaves, and turns out he formed a new PMC group that he is calling the Patriots. That's right, he reformed the Patriots under a new mission statement and a new goal. And he's running it a bit differently too. Because basically, after that whole talk he had with Big Boss at the grave site and everything, about legacies, about intents, about purposes, and all that stuff and everything, he took a couple of years off. He let Raiden do all his crazy revenge and stuff. And then he
machine, son.
Yeah, and then so after he dealt with his health and came back, he decided he wanted to try to do something good, so he joined back up with Raiden, and they both formed a new group called the Patriots. Okay? And so this group consists of Snake, Raiden, and a couple of new recruits to the whole thing. Raiden is going under the new code name of Grey Wolf. And like they have people like Sniper Frog, I guess, Silent Fox. Basically what he did is he took the naming code scheme from Foxhound and applied it to his new group.
I get what you mean. That's some odd
Yeah, the thing is, I didn't think of like all the names for all these people.
We got
and they'll be
Whimpering Weasel and Humongous I don't know. Humongous
Angry Badger.
Angry Badger. That's pretty good. Alright, this is a stealth mission. Oh shit!
Yeah, so basically he's got a new, it's basically Foxhound with the Patriots label on it. Okay. So they get their new mission. It's a very simple mission. They've been contracted by the American government, and there's this corporation that was selling them some missiles, but then the missiles got stolen, and they're like, okay, Snake, your group, we need you to find out where they went, get them back before they fall into like terrorist hands, and then bring them to us. Simple thing, Snake can do it in his sleep, right? You know, not that tough of a mission. Now here's where we get into the themes I want to explore in this game. It's a little bit different from the Metal Gear Solid game proper, the Metal Gear Solid 5 game proper, and like, the reason why I wanted to go with the sequel is because I'm interested in, like, at the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, and then going into like Revengeance and stuff and everything, we left the world in a very interesting place here. Because like everything went to like this military economy sort of thing where like there was just like mercenary groups everywhere. Like everything was getting privatized, it was like crazy, and then all that just shut down. Like the Metal Gear Solid 4 just ends, it basically ends like the end of Escape to New York. It's like, well, what the what was after that? It's like, did you just kind of end the world there? And then we get to Revengeance and we find out that like corporations have kind of moved in to fill the gap there, making everything even worse and kind of mass producing a lot of it. And so I want to keep going with that plot thread from Revengeance, where we're exploring that like in this.
JustIggy, you should do the Wandering Puppets. Give them a preview to Metal Gear Survive.
Metal Gear Survive is not canon to my idea at all.
It's no.
Yeah. So basically, we're exploring what happens in a post-war economy world where now corporations are starting to move in on that territory and basically are trying to control the government just by being the only stable force in the world. So basically, they're trying to accomplish like libertarian Ayn Rand ideals here. It's like we're on our way to the Fountainhead people, Atlas Shrugged, and it's not good. Okay, so there's these four major corporations that's pushing everything, and each of these corporations have decided to take up like one aspect of prior Metal Gear games and decide to specialize that and become and like gather all the information on it, all the tech on it, and everything, and basically like that's their thing. Now, for the names of these corporations, I was trying to think of like good names for these corporations, but I couldn't, so I just put in placeholder names for the moment.
Okay.
Like hoping that I come up with something better.
Okay.
I did.
Okay.
So a lot of these corporations are gonna have funny names.
Just go for
Pardon
it.
me on this.
Just rip the band-aid. Rip the band-aid.
Everything. But okay. So the idea is that these corporations are not tied to a government, but they use government resources. They operate within those countries. But like the ultimate goal is to basically just wait for this, collapsed war economy to just erode at the last of the government stranglehold and then move in, bail out the government, and just basically control it through money. Okay? So the first of these super mega corporations with military intent is called Desperado. It's basically the corporation from Revengeance, just kind of restructured and slightly different mission statement. And their focus is that they took all that cyborg ninja technology and all that stuff, you know, like what they did to Raiden and all that and everything, and they're specializing in that. They're looking into like the next generation of robotics and all that stuff, and like they're furthering development on that. They're like stealing all information on that, consolidating into themselves so that if you want a robot, you go to them. They're trying to get the monopoly on that and everything, and then basically all these corporations, they sell out pieces of their stuff to other PMCs out there and everything. That's what's keeping this whole, you know, war stuff going. And the second corporation is called Titan. Okay?
Okay. So we're okay.
And their focus is Metal Gears. They're the ones consolidating all the Metal Gear research technology and stuff and everything, and their focus is on Metal Gears and WMDs. It's
Like Big Show.
basically. Just without everybody shouting out every 5 minutes, please retire. Okay? And then you're going to get funny. The third corporation is called, for no reason whatsoever, Mack.
Okay, Mammoth.
Mammoth. I don't know why it's called Mammoth. It just is. It just is. The only thing I can think of at the moment. And their specialty is they're reopening the doors to less advanced therapies.
Oh.
They're looking.
You know what? That kind of makes sense. That it's like cloning a mammoth back to life.
Basically, their whole thing is that they're gathering all clone information research, all genetic alteration research. You know, they're just basically looking into how to alter the human being and all the stuff you can do with that. So they're a genetics research firm, and that's their thing. Okay? They want to make, you know, perfect genetic soldiers, you know, no robotic enhancements necessary. Alright? And the final one, and this is the one that you're going to love, I called Umbrella.
Oh, God.
This is the one I really tried to look for a different name for. But like, I couldn't think of anything, so I just left it as that, as the holdover. It's not actually gonna be Umbrella Promise People, but like, that's only.
I only have one question.
What?
Is it a pharmaceutical company?
No.
Okay, thank God.
Not technically.
Not technically.
Okay, they're another medical kind of thing, but they're a biomedical research.
Oh my God! You're reading Umbrella. What are you doing?
No, basically, they have the nanomachine technology research.
Okay.
They're the ones pouring more research into nanomachines, like taking them further, making sure people, not any idiot can hack into them. That's a big thing. You know, again, that's all they really want to conquer that little bug. It was a big problem.
Let's not base all of our nanomachine technology off the blood of one old man.
Yeah, they're really looking hard into that one. But yeah, so they're into nanomachines, nanotechnology, and all of its applications. That's them, Umbrella. Desperado is based in Japan. Titan is based in America. Mammoth is based in Europe. And Umbrella is based in Egypt.
Interesting, okay.
Okay, so that's basically the setup for the world. It's like Solid Snake, everything up, and these corporations are moving in to try and fix it. But that's not a good thing. Okay, so back to the opening mission. So basically we found out that Snake and Raiden and like his group, you know, including Sunny and Otacon, you know, all those guys and everything, they've been doing a lot of work these last, 8 or so years and everything, and they've done a lot to disarm them. So there's not as many giant Metal Gears running around as there were in Revengeance or Cyborg soldiers. Like in recent years, because they've been cleaning all that stuff up a lot and everything, and with like the rising costs of things and like governments losing funding and all that stuff, it's become a lot expensive to do that. That's why that's another big reason why these corporations are becoming so big, because like they have all the money and they're not just going to give out all their crap to everybody
Right.
and everything. So that's how I'm scaling things down from the Vengeance a little bit. You know, there's still going to be some of these things, still going to be giant killbots and cyborg soldiers and everything, but it's going to be much to more manageable level. A little bit more so than 4. But like, it's gonna be still a sweet spot in between 4 and Revengeance, where we're gonna be dealing with this. Okay. Okay. And even though I like Revengeance a lot, there's not gonna be too many scenes of riding and stopping a giant Metal Gear sword swing with just his little sword. But we're not gonna have as much of that in this whole thing. So back to the opening mission. So it's a simple mission for Snake and his new team. Okay. They're looking for these missiles that are supposed to be going to the American government, and this is an important mission because the government loses, like, the government getting less and less military resources that they can call their own, and they don't want to lose any more power to these companies.
Okay.
So Snake and his team, they go in, you know, pretty standard stuff and everything. We begin like old opening. Snake is in a sneaking suit. You know, he's doing his thing. He's coming in, you know, popping up, taking dudes out. You know, everything is going pretty smoothly. He's coordinating his group. Gameplay-wise, I want to kind of leave it similar to the gameplay in Metal Gear Solid 5, like this and everything. I like the whole team dynamic where you can like either bring in Quiet, a horse, or dog, or a robot with you. It's funny that the lump a human being in with all that, but you know, I would add a few more human beings to this whole thing the further we get into this game. But yeah, basically there's a team dynamic and everything where you can kind of like send pieces of your team this way and everything. There's like side objectives where it basically would be like, hey, like this passcode needs to go and everything, why not send right and get that? You know,
Okay.
fun stuff like that. So basically we get halfway through the mission, and you know, Snake, he's working with one of his cohorts who goes by the code name of Silent Fox and everything. They make it to the room with the missiles in it and there and everything. Snake asks Fox to guard the door while he goes in and, you know, just verifies that the missiles are in there. So he goes in, he looks for the missiles, he locates them, walks up to them, discovers they're fake. And he's like, oh crap. Because he knows what's coming next and everything. All of a sudden, explosions, bullets everywhere, everything. Members of his team just start getting killed left and right. Like, these guys just start dying. He starts trying to scramble what he can. To like, it's like, this is a trap, we've been double-crossed, let's get them out of here. And everything, then an even bigger explosion happens and everything. Everybody gets knocked down. Silent Fox gets up, and in the flames, he looks up and he sees Big Boss. How he looked exactly in this game. Like from Ground Zeroes and everything. Big Boss in his prime, grizzled beard, eye patch, everything. Like in the fire. And then he's just going like, Snake? But, and then they look back, and then there's old Snake behind him, and then old Snake is going like, what the hell is this? And everything. So they can't believe that and everything. And then then right behind Big Boss shows up like all these other crazy soldiers. You know your cadre of crazy messed up soldiers with superpowers and everything. Raiden comes in to try to help him and everything. He starts taking on these guys, but they clearly got a lot of heat and everything. Snake's team is not doing so good, so they just need. So they're basically looking at each other and be like, okay, GTFO. So let's get out of here and everything. And so like the mission just turns into just getting out there with your life, and then they leave, and the only survivors of this mission are Snake, Silent Fox, and Raiden. And so they get back to the base, and Silent Fox obviously looks over at Snake because like he's new. He doesn't quite know the you know, like, he grew up with the stories of Big Boss and Snake and everything, but he didn't quite know the exact details, like, the world doesn't know the details. So naturally, he just looks at Snake and goes like, what the was that? Why were there 2 of you? Why was one of you younger? Like, what the hell is going on? And Snake is like, You're asking me? Like, not like that. He does it in his Snake way, but that's essentially the idea we're getting at here. He has no idea what's going on, and based on his history, he knows it's probably both. So, what they do find out is that Otacon managed to find out some mission that they were intercepted by, official reports come in that they were intercepted by a rival PMC group called the Diamond Dogs.
Okay.
Yeah, and officially the report goes in to the government that Snake's group, the Patriots, failed their mission, got caught, and the leaders of the group barely escaped and everything, but they failed the mission, whereas the Diamond Dogs went in, accomplished everything, and left without a trace. So basically they got showed up.
Okay.
So, so the game then becomes, Snake, Raiden, and Silent Fox go on a mission to figure out, what the hell is going on, who double-crossed them, why, what does this have to do with, the corporations, and, what's going on with the Diamond Dogs, who are their rivals. At this point, do you have any questions?
Not complete. It's a lot. It's interestingly. I can't. Just keep going.
I definitely hit you like a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay,
a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so basically this is the part where the game itself takes proper shape, and basically the idea is you get your open world map. And basically, you have these corporations. They have their head bases in certain areas, and they're allied with different PMC groups who do their work for them, and then they pay them off with gadgets and stuff from that they're developing. So that's how you get your enhanced soldiers. And so you'll be facing off against more cyber soldiers, more nanomachine enhanced groups. And stuff and everything, etc., etc., etc. And so basically, it's the same. Basically, it's the same idea as Metal Gear Solid 4 and everything. You're infiltrating a lot of these bases, trying to uncover documents and information, basically trying to link the chains between these different companies and everything. And all along the way, at certain points, you're constantly intercepted by the Diamond Dogs, who are out to stop you from getting any more information on them or what these corporations are up to. Because over time there'll be missions where you start learning that these guys are up to stuff and these guys are up to stuff, and you're just Snake, Fox, and Raiden are trying to uncover this. And with this game, I kind of want to go a little bit GTA 5, and obviously pretty much figured out that this game has not one but 3 protagonists. Well, just 2. One operates in more of a support capacity, although I want him to have at least a couple missions, and that's Raiden. Raiden is in, he gets only a couple of missions really to himself. But he operates in a support capacity. He's basically taking over Ocelot's position in this game.
Okay.
Only he is involved a lot more. Because in this game, Ocelot, he's at the base and everything, but he never does anything in this game. He just stayed at the base and then criticizes you all day long. And this one, Raiden would do a little bit of that and everything, but he'd also go out and do stuff. You can send him on missions, and he'll have a couple of missions and stuff. But the main 2 characters are Old Snake and Silent Fox.
Okay.
And basically, this is kind of a redo of Metal Gear Solid 2, which circles me back to the whole thing where we're basically introducing a new protagonist to the story in Silent Fox. Okay? He's Snake's buddy. He sometimes works with Snake, sometimes goes on his own missions as Snake gives them to him. So Snake is still the boss here and everything. But, slowly, Fox is starting to become his apprentice. Okay? Okay, and here's a voice actor thing that I want to think. Obviously, Solid Snake is still voiced by David Hayter.
Okay.
And here's the interesting thing. Okay, they like early in the beginning of everything, as they're doing more research into Diamond Dogs, and they find out that Diamond Dogs has ties to where did I put in here? Diamond Dog has ties to two of the corporations. I believe they have ties to... Crap, I don't think I wrote that down. I think they have ties to Desperado and... No, they have ties to, like, I think Umbrella and Titan. But, yeah, they have ties to two of the companies and everything, and, like, basically they're doing work for them, and then they get stuff and everything, and then they, like, hide their secrets. But basically, after doing a few missions and learning more about Diamond Dogs and their illicit connection to these companies, they learn that the guy who is at the head of this Diamond Dogs PMC group, he goes by the codename of Venom Snake.
Okay.
And he's voiced by Kiefer Sutherland. Jack, that's right, Jack Bauer's still in this.
Okay.
Okay? So, Snake wants to find out what is the deal with this guy calling himself Venom Snake, because, you know, his eyes, there's only one snake. Alright? And so, along the way, Snake is trying to, like, repatch his relationship with the government, because after failing that mission and effing up the world economy, he's not on good terms with them. He's not on good terms with them and everything, and so the government's not in a position to really want to, you know, like, humor Snake or be on his good side. So they brought in a group that they're hoping can one day replace this whole PNC idea and everything, and it's an intelligence group called Phantom.
Okay.
Yes. And Phantom is headed up by this one guy called Donald Kirkman, and he can hate Snake.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, every time they come across each other, like, either, like, when he, like, is forced to give Snake intel or whatever and everything, his, he basically does not waste a chance to basically tell Snake, like, you're a dinosaur, you're useless, you don't help with anything, you should just, like, go off to a cabin somewhere and die. And at this point in his life,
doing that years ago.
and at this point in his life, Snake is like, yeah, you know, I kind of fucked up a lot, I don't seem to be helping too much right now. Like, maybe, like, this is the last mission. Like, he's starting to doubt himself a bit. But then later they start finding out that Phantom has ties to two of the other corporations, and, like, they have, like, their hands in, you know, their cookie jars as well, so, like, they're corrupt. So, you know, Snake has to try to unravel this whole thing, because a lot of these shady people get in power from shady places, and it's not leading to anything good. Like, basically, the corporations are trying to worm their way into the government's control. I forgot to mention this. There's a scene at the beginning, towards the beginning, where Snake is talking with Campbell. Yeah. And at this point, obviously, Campbell's, like, long since retired. He's Snake's friend, but he's not really in a position to help Snake too much these days. But we find out some interesting things about Campbell. He is actually considering running for office. Like, he's thinking, like, you know, we try, like, all these years we spent, like, shooting guns at people and everything. Maybe there's a place for guys like you and me to try and do things a different way. And so he's like, I got a lot of experience, I, like, know this world, maybe I can help this way.
Okay.
Snake's not too sure, because he doesn't trust politics too much, obvious reasons. Obvious reasons, but he trusts his friend. Everything. So like after that discussion, Campbell leaves Snake with a box of Big Boss's old stuff, and like he also gives Snake like his old Colonel hat and everything as a symbolic gesture. Snake kind of puts it on the box and everything. Inside Big Boss's old box is like a book, War and Peace. Inside is like a pressed preserved flower, the same type of flower from the field where he fought the boss.
Okay.
I thought this would be nice visual thematic stuff and everything. A tape, David Bowie's "The Man Who Sold the World." I like that song. I like it in the beginning of the game. I want to keep that. Snake plays at the beginning of the game. It's going to tie in again thematically at the end. The coat Big Boss was wearing in the graveyard. Okay. Those are the things in the box. Again, it comes back at the end of the game. Okay, so from there on, the game just, like I said, takes its obvious shape, where Snake, Fox, and Raiden are infiltrating all these different bases, all these PFC groups, and everything, basically trying to find the pieces to the big puzzle. Gameplay-wise, very similar to this game. Yeah, and so like the big antagonists of this game are Diamond Dog and Phantom. I was thinking along the way, like the bosses of the game come from Diamond Dogs. Like Diamond Dogs are all members of everything, and I was thinking like I like the you kidnapping soldiers thing to like build up your ranks and stuff thing, and I wanted to like have you be able to do that with the bosses. So there's an interesting mechanic where like Snake can eat, like Snake or Fox or like whoever you fight the bosses with, can either kill the bosses and then you only have to deal with them like once, or you can leave them alive and then you have to like fight those a-holes multiple times, progressively harder, and like it starts to also dwindle on your resources too, because like they'll start doing things in the background that will like make it harder for you to gather resources and stuff to rebuild your own forces.
Interesting. So they actively try to play against you.
Yeah, but then at like the end of their missions and everything, if you let them live enough times and everything, there'll be a chance where you can actually like talk to them, recruit them to your side, and like basically like get them on your side and have them join the Patriots.
Okay.
So it's a race between you and Diamond Dog to build up your forces, and I see Quiet being in there too. I'd keep Quiet. Again, probably clothed. She'd start off as a member of Diamond Dogs, and like there'd be a whole mission where, like she'd be like the only boss mission where you're required to recruit her, because I want her to also kind of be part of the story in the end, and maybe like in future games. But yeah, there'd be a mechanic where you can kind of try to recruit the bosses and stuff. As well as other things and everything to build up like your new base that they're trying to rebuild. So the things here, with Snake is becoming disillusioned. He doesn't think there's a place for him anymore, and like he's basically kind of being pushed through this a little bit by Raiden and Fox. But also a little bit he also wants to know what the hell's going on with Venom Snake, because the idea between him and Venom Snake is that they're mirroring each other. What we find out about Venom Snake is that he is a Big Boss fanboy. Okay? He is a huge fan of Boss, and like his ideal is that he took the whole speech that Boss was giving about like the perfect soldier state, and kind of running with it to a weird place, where he thinks like the only people who earn their lot in the world are soldiers and everything, and he wants to make the world more perfect for soldiers.
Okay.
And everything. So he's like a fan. He's like a fan of Big Boss's work in his maniacal days.
Okay.
And everything. And Old Snake is a representation of Big Boss's legacy from his less crazy days and possibly his older days when he was more reflective in Metal Gear Solid 4 and everything. And so basically it's a battle between Old Snake and Venom Snake over what they think Boss's legacy is.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Well, I'm interested because it kind of parallels. It's kind of interesting because like a lot of old Metal Gear is all about following the boss. I'm talking about Big Boss, I'm talking about the boss. The woman from Metal Solid 3 who was like Big Boss, kind of figure and obviously his everything, obviously. So now you've gone from following the boss's ideals to now following Big Boss's ideals in a whole other like generation sense on top.
Yeah, it's basically a whole theme around like legacy and ideals and like how people interpret like things that are passed on, everything because Big Boss took what the boss told him and like did his own interpretation. And Snake is trying to cement his own interpretation, but not even he knows exactly what that is yet. Everything, but Venom Snake's got that down. It's like, I want to make things more for soldiers. Goodbye government, goodbye all this stuff and everything. Okay, because what you start finding out is like you start uncovering missions and everything. I'll outline that Fox, since he's a dual protagonist of the whole thing. His thing, he's like more idealistic. He's the one who's like really trying to like get Snake back in the game mentally. He's like saying it's like a lot of crappy stuff is happening out there and everything. We are the guys with the ability to do this. It might not be perfect, but you gotta do something.
Yeah. Okay.
And interesting voice thing on him and everything. What you find out in like a side file and everything is that Silent Fox's real name is Nolan. You want to know why?
Because his voice by Nolan.
Yes!
God!
Yes! I want to do that Easter egg again. Everything where you find out that like just like how Solid Snake, you find out his real name is David.
Technically, they say that was established before they had flying.
But I want to make a thing here.
It's still kind of a cool nod still.
Yeah, I want to make a thing here.
That's fine.
Yeah, I want to make a thing here. So you find out that Silent Fox's name is Nolan. And everything. And over the course of the game, Nolan becomes more and more integral to the plot as he's like doing things and everything. And like it goes to the whole establishment theme of legacy. Because Snake is starting to make Nolan into his legacy, and everything. And in turn, Silent Fox is giving Old Snake more things to fight for. Everything.
Okay.
And then, so you soon find out that Phantom and Diamond Dogs are actually the same thing.
Ooh.
They're just two sides of the same coin. What's going on is that Donald Kirkman is Venom Snake.
How?
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, the Snake finds out is that Kirkman is actually like son or like grandson of one of the soldiers who worked on the original Outer Heaven with Big Boss.
Okay.
So his legacy is that he comes from that. Like he grew up with his dad as one of the boss's soldiers, idolizing the boss and all that sort of thing. He became Big Boss and everything. But then like when he found out about Snake killing Boss and all that stuff, he just became completely disheartened and then just started this whole plan of his to try and usurp Snake's place, because what he views Snake as is a failure. He just looks at Snake and hates everything about him because he's like, it's like, you are the boss, basically the boss's son. You were given everything. You were given his DNA, you were given his position, you were handed the keys to his kingdom, and that up.
Okay.
It's like, you destroyed Outer Heaven, you destroyed his, again, remember, he's idolizing the maniacal big boss here. It's like, you destroyed Outer Heaven, you destroyed the Metal Gears and everything, you disarmed the world. Like, what the hell are you doing? You're supposed to create the perfect soldier state. It's like, you were supposed to be the perfect soldier, and you just gave that up. Everything to be another cog in this machine, and to keep the world spinning as it was. It's like, but I am about none of that. So what he did is that he started making deals with all these companies and all this stuff and everything, and he started secretly stealing technology from him. And so what happened is that he stole some advanced nanomachine technologies, implanted them in himself, along with using the genetic technology too from the cloning thing, and basically he has a device inside his body that on a whim transforms him into a perfect likeness of Big Boss, Venom Snake.
Okay.
And his goal is to not stop there. He also wants to use the robot technology, lops off his arm, places it with a robot arm. He wants to be the perfect soldier. He wants to be what he believes is the perfect soldier. And so he's using all these companies' technology on himself and on his people to try and create the perfect soldiers.
Okay.
And that's not even the tip of the iceberg, because what you find out is that Phantom has been weaving its way, like as an intelligence agency, has been weaving its way into the government systems, and like soon they'll have the new, and they've been selling some of that information to America's enemies and to its allies. They've basically been like back-dealing everybody, and soon they will have control of the entire world's nuclear arsenal.
Oh.
And so here's where the Patriots, Snake's team, finds out Venom Snake's big plan is to basically stockpile all the best weapons in the world, take control of all of the WMDs, set them off. They want to nuke the world, destroy the government infrastructure, destroy all the corporations too, because they want to backstab them, and basically turn the whole world into Mad Max, where everything is run by soldiers, all fighting each other till the end of time.
Jesus Christ, that's
The perfect soldier state, where soldiers are the most valuable commodity.
that's disturbing.
Yeah.
I mean, even more so than what the original.
Yeah, basically, he's gone crazy, and he just took that original idea and just went like, what if we amp this up 350%?
You took the football to the middle of the field. I'm running for a touchdown in the city over.
Yeah. And so Snake, Fox, and Raiden basically looking at him and they're like, well, that's not good. We should try to stop that.
Yeah, that's probably.
So yeah, that's where we get to the end of the game, where basically it's Snake's forces versus Venom Snake's forces. Venom Snake is hopping himself up on a whole load of super soldier stuff. So, you know, he's got like robot arm, genetic enhancement, nanomachines. Like he's got like a whole bunch of these stockpiled weapons from these companies who be double crossed and, you know, try to cripple and everything. And he's like this right, and like depending on like how much resources you gathered, how much you built up your own forces, it will buy you more time to like get through his, like he's basically created his own outer haven, and like you basically trying to, like the final level of the game, basically you just kind of break in there before he sets off, before he takes control of all the nuclear weapons and the Mad Maxes the world beyond Thunderdome and everything, way beyond, and you're just trying to take out his ass before that happens. So we get to the final battle. Okay, playing as Old Snake, you're taking on Venom Snake. You take him on, you do a lot of damage. Snake's a badass. Like, he has the boss's legacy behind him. Taking on everything. He's whipping ass and everything, but like, Venom Snake can regenerate, Venom Snake has enhancement. Basically, it's Snake taking on Master Chief. It's both.
Okay.
Everything. You might not like this and everything, the Snake kind of gets his ass handed to him. and everything. And then that's where Fox drops in, and he's like, okay, let's do this together. Both you and me. And Fox is a guy, he's just a guy. You know, he has no enhancements. So Venom Snake is like, who do you think of? You have, like, no name, no enhancements, you're just a soldier. And Fox is like, yeah, I'm just a soldier, I'm still gonna be the guy who kicks your ass. Like, I envision Fox to be kind of like, I won't say jokey, but he's more of a lighter counterpoint to Snake and everything. And so, like, I'm kind of seeing him as like the emotional core to this whole thing.
Okay.
Everything. So basically, the final battle is Old Snake and Fox taking on Venom Snake and everything. And it's basically them giving their interpretation of the boss's legacy and having it pitting it up against Venom Snake's. And basically it's like, okay, like, they're realists, you know, like, they realize, like, the world sucks, okay? Like, we don't deny that and everything, but we believe that we can make it better. You know, soldiers are good and everything, but they're not the only thing.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. You know, that basic idea and everything. So, I envision it to be like a really awesome battle, like something like where you have like Old Snake on Sniper, you know, and then like Fox getting there and like being up close and everything. Like you can switch between the two, between the fight and everything. And basically, the idea of the whole fight is like one of you causes a distraction, the other goes in there to do damage and everything, and you're just trying to swap out and everything and create enough space where he can't do too much damage to either one of you. But you're slowly whittling him down, and it starts working. And eventually, they manage to they get into the fight and everything. Fox lops off Venom Snake's robot arm. Everything pops a couple in his chest. And everything. Then Old Snake, like Sarah Connor, comes up behind him with the missile launcher. You know, points it at Venom Snake and is like, "Eat this, you son of." Boom! Blows Venom Snake to pieces.
Jesus.
Everything. Meanwhile, like, Raiden's dealing with like giant Metal Gears and all that stuff, and everything. You probably have to fight a couple to get in there too, and everything. Like, this is a big bad battle. But in the end, you defeat Venom Snake, 2-on-1. You save the world. You haven't defeated the evil companies that are involved in this thing and everything, but you definitely lessened their power because they had a lot tied into Phantom and Diamond Dogs, and so like now a lot of that is gone and everything. So they're not quite back to square one, but you definitely lessened their power, and so like they went back to lick their wounds, and they can be used for a later game. Is the thing. I want to keep them around as a continuing force that you can deal with fully in like a later game or something. But yeah, basically, you know, the world gets back to a happier place. Relatively speaking, you know, after just dodging a world-ending event. So at the end, we find out that Campbell actually got the Senate seat.
Okay.
And he's like moving up in the political world. And, you know, he's talking things over with Snake, and, you know, he's happy the way Snake's new business going. And he says like he made a deal. You know, his first big government deal out of the gate is that now that Phantom is gone, you know, the UN basically needs a new thing to supplant it that's hopefully not maniacal while they get through this ever-changing period of time. And so they're basically saying it's like, Snake, how about you and the Patriots become like an arm of the world and help protect it? You know, take this new intelligence position. And so Snake now has the backing of the basically the UN and the allied nations and stuff. You know, he has a whole new, like, his version of Outer Haven. But he's ready to put the Patriots' name behind. So but he's willing to still honor and everything, so he calls the base like the Patriot base or something. But like now he has this new team, and so the game ends with Snake in his new base. You know, puts down his guns, takes off his belt holster, He picks up Roy's hat, puts it on, flips on Big Boss's coat, you know, goes into the main room, looks on the monitor, starts up everything for a mission that he is not on. Okay?
Okay.
And so he sits down in his command chair, he starts organizing everything for the mission that's currently going on, and then the title sequence comes up. Everything, old boss. Snake has now taken on the moniker of boss. Everything, and then we cut to the mission in place. You know, we have like Quiet, we have like a couple of other people you probably assembled in the main game, and everything, and then we have, in classic Metal Gear Solid fashion, you see something coming up outside of some water, everything on its way to start up the mission, everything out of the water. Comes Nolan, everything, he, in his sneaking suit, raises his gun, title comes up on him, Silent Snake. Everything. We basically passed the torch, and everything, and we got a new Snake for a new set of games.
That's a hell of a thing you just threw out there. That's, wow, okay. I like a lot of it. As a obviously a bigger fan of the whole series, I do question a few things, mostly just character motivations, I think, because considering how Solid Snake was in the past, the character of Solid Snake compared to the character of Big Boss, I don't think he would do that. Well, Solid Snake was never about building a base.
Well, it's not like a base or anything. It's just like where the operations are and everything. It's a smaller team, essentially.
Okay. I mean, it seems like in this sense, Solid Snake is definitely more making his own will of how Big Boss, you know, was, and I don't think he ever really gave a damn after what happened and how he had dealt with Big Boss and everything. I will say though, however, you wrapped it up quite well enough to...
Well, that's why I wanted to like take him in a different place in this game, because he's obviously in a different headspace and everything. And that's why the whole game is about like getting him to this new place. You know, like making it like showing him that like there was some parts of what Boss was doing that was maybe a good idea, and there's others that weren't. Everything. It's all about the whole game is all about getting Snake into a different headspace, really, because. You know, again, like you said, at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4 and everything, he wrecked the world and almost didn't care, but like, then you gotta live in that world. And so this game is a lot about like what comes after.
Which I understand again too. At the same time, like, again, there's enough just personality-wise, because like and before he also talked about, especially after Big Boss tells him, don't fight anymore. Go live, basically, whatever moments got left. You know, I don't know. I mean, it almost seems like Snake really does take kind of the heart to lay down his arms. To see him pick it back up again, it would be kind of confusing. However, the story...
But that's why I put it at the beginning, I think, is that he did that. And again, this has been like 8 years later. He did that and everything, but like the world just got worse and worse. And like, you know, like, is he just going to sit by and let everything become Fountainhead?
Yeah, no, and I understand. There's enough in there that I feel that certain, because I feel he strongly feels certain ways about certain things as far as like those specific ideals, to the point where he is an old man at that point, especially if he had been able to live up to that many years past, that he would definitely not really be moving much at all. But again, you put it enough through story and contention that it kind of makes it does make enough sense that you know, I would kind of overlook and see how.
Well, that's why Fox is in there and everything.
Well, I know you're passing on to the next person, and I do understand that, and I do get that, and that's a big thing, obviously.
And that's why he's like doing sort of a similar thing, at the same thing, but he's doing like different, his own interpretation, the way he wants to do it, the way he wants to run it, everything. Because like he's at a place where like if this work has to be done, then we're doing it differently. We're going a different way. It's like this is like no longer the boss. This is about no longer the boss's way. This is no longer the big boss's way. This is old boss's way. Everything. So Snake is trying to change the world in different ways.
I'm just, it's okay, again, as another fan, I see this going one way, and I see that going that way, and then the next game, I see at least at first, how Metal Gear is like, it would completely backfire, and then you have people trying to follow Solid Snake's ideas, old boss's ideas, and then being completely upstreamed and overanalyzed, overthought, and redone over just like they did with the boss and Big Boss. Like the cycle would just continue. It would be another thing of now Solid Snake being part of that cycle. I think, because again, this is another reason why I think I'm not sure Solid Snake wouldn't necessarily get himself into that, because his whole deal about, especially the end of Metal Gear 2, was about passing on what you want to pass on to the next generation. And I don't think he wanted to pass on those type of ideals. Again, it's still a good enough story, I think, that you could kind of look past a little bit of that and see the new motivations and get it running better.
Like we can see that my game is the fact that like we had to have Metal Gear Solid 5 in the first place. So that's why we're kind of retreading a little bit of the same area here.
Which
But like,
I get.
and ultimately, we will get to the same place we were. I feel, but like we will at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. But I want to leave the world in a little bit better place. And that's what I'm hoping like is the goal of these like if like we had to keep the Metal Gear Solid series going and everything. That would be the goal of like, these new games, is to like do what they did at the end of Metal Gear Solid 4. Only the world is not in such a place.
I would fully understand, however, this process of thinking if they were going to continue the series, because this puts you in a new place you can go with that. Obviously, that's not what the original thinking was for this game, because at the time it was definitely like Kojima's last deal, pretty much with this game. But obviously, Konami does not want.
And obviously, Fox is a different type of soldier than Snake is, or Big Boss was, or even the Boss was, and everything. And you know, and they're progressively getting like it's to show like the progress. Like these big soldiers are getting progressively less about the life and like about ending it and everything. And Snake feels like Nolan can truly be the last link in this chain. Oh, and the big time to like the man who sold the world tape and everything at the beginning of the game. I want to end the song with like Snake, old boss in his command chair, everything. Press the button, play the song. It's the man who sold the world. It's the Nirvana cover.
Okay.
Everything because it's symbolic.
Yeah, no, I understand. Just saying, it's funny because you use Dave Bowie and the Nirvana one.
Yeah,
the one that was in this.
It just changed, but the song remains the same.
That's Led Zeppelin.
But same. But like, yeah.
Okay, well, you know, I do like it. I do feel, again, I do disagree with a couple of points on that, but I think it would make a decent, pretty kick-ass game that would help continue the franchise in the new direction that it was.
I'm saying my idea is basically just merging 2 and 4 together to make a more cohesive thing, like either with 2 and everything, and it's like a more better way of baton passing. I mean, like, if you really were set to that everything, at the end, Snake could just iron general anything, and things get passed completely on to Silent Snake.
Yeah, you could do that. And
I'm okay with that everything.
And I'm glad that we passed the baton on to another very well-known voice actor. That is a little more dedicated to voice acting, I think. As much as David Hayter is a great voice actor, and I love him. I love his actor too. As I explained in my vision, he would still be around, at least in some capacity to the point. He does have other things he does.
And in my
writing and this, he does.
In my version and everything, he's not either flat out replaced or like bum rushed out of the game completely and everything. He, like, this cements him as he is Solid Snake now and forever and everything. If you need a new Snake, here's a new Snake. And the reason why I chose Nolan North, because I feel like he's good at doing the humor, but not to a ridiculous degree, because, you know, again, the Silent Snake / Fox is a bit lighter than regular Snake and everything, but like you can do the serious and everything, so he would make sense as an evolution of the Snakes. Because like even Solid Snake was a bit more quippier and irreverent than Big Boss was. And like especially the boss and everything, so it like sells that evolution. Like we're getting away from like this hardened soldier thing.
Okay, yeah, no, I do see that. I just understand that. It's pretty useful as far as that specific line. I think that works really well.
It's also hilarious that Snake hands over the reins franchise to Deadpool.
He's Deadpool in a couple of different senses. You know what I mean?
But he played Deadpool in the game and then a couple of movies.
Right.
But, okay, any other further questions on like gameplay and stuff?
So the gameplay remains mostly the same of this?
Yeah, it's sort of everything. You kind of gathering up resources and intel to try and take on Phantom and Diamond Dogs and all that
How
stuff.
is your open world map exactly? Because you said you have the bases with specific things. Is it just one giant one?
It's basically the same kind of breakdown as you have with this game, where you have like multiple like area maps and everything. Because like you have the Africa area and like the Middle East area and everything. But it's like broken down by the corporations. You know, each map kind of.
So
everything includes an area where like the main corporation resides, and it kind of like surrounding incorporated areas.
So I'm thinking maybe you took, it's kind of like if you took Metal Gear 4's 5 different district areas, but you made them open world and had more instead of
Basically everything, yeah, and like you have like these little, there would still be like the smaller camp infiltrated would be like full of PNCs who are allied with the corporation and everything, and like you'll infiltrate them to get like key cards or access codes or that stuff and everything, so you can infiltrate the bigger facilities and like get their information. Same idea.
Okay. That sounds actually pretty decent. I like that. I like that a lot.
And my questions plot-wise, characters, and questions about Silent Fox.
When you said you wanted to kind of GTA as far as like switching characters, as far as that goes, is that at any time?
Not at any time. Basically, like you know, at the beginning of this game, you get a selection screen. I want to go more depth with that and everything. So obviously, there'll be like writing will be available for every mission. Everything. Again, the main characters would be Snake and Fox. And so at the beginning of most missions, there'll be a few character-specific ones, obviously, because you know we have stories to tell here and everything. But most of them will be able, you'll be able to choose either you want to be Snake or you want to be Fox, and then you go on the mission, and you know you choose your loadouts. You know your side characters you want to bring in. Maybe you want to go out as Fox, but you want to have Snake back you up. It's like go for it, you know.
Yeah, okay.
It'd be hilarious, like, you're playing as Fox and, like, you're on the sniper rifle and you just see Solid Snake just, like, drop down into a camp and then just, like, muzzle someone,
Destroy basically.
you know, muzzle someone up from behind. It's like, so that's what it looks like from that angle. You know, basically that sort of thing. And, like, you know, they'll have, like, their own mechanics when they're actually in the support capacity versus how they are as player one, of course. But, you know, it'd be interesting to see that and everything. Where, like, you can either be Snake or you can fight alongside him. You know, I feel like, you know, like, I think the uphill battle of this game is the fact that, like, it's obviously introducing a new protagonist, just like 2 was, but I feel like about going about it in a different way to kind of make the pill easier to swallow.
I think it would be easier to deal with it if it was done kind of a different way. So then you would just be like, oh, surprise!
Everything, because like you're really building up this other character, and like again, there's not a feeling of like one is really supplanting the other.
Yeah, you're working at the same level.
Yeah. That's why it's important that I really want to have the final battle be them teaming up against Venom.
Okay. Yeah, no, I like it.
Because, like, and that's really Venom is tied to both of them, and is a mirror of both of them. Because, you know, Fox is kind of a fanboy for Solid Snake. You know, he likes that guy, he believes in his ideals of making the world a better place, and eventually, like, hanging up everything, like, he's down with that and everything. And so, you know, he believes in a world of peace, whereas Venom doesn't. And, you know, that's how they mirror each other. And, you know, Venom and Old Snake are fighting over the boss's legacy. And, like, and what they believe it to be. You know, like, that's how he's a mirror of, like, both of those characters, and that's why both of them deserve to blast him in the face and blow him off of the world.
I did, yeah. I understand. No, I do like it. I do like it a lot. I'm not sure exactly that's what they were. Obviously, it's not what they were, but I'm not completely sure on every single bit of it. But I do like a lot of the direction, a lot of the.
Well, obviously, like I don't have like all the very specifics on this work.
No, I understand that. So, but again, I do believe that we've done pretty decently well, and I do. Oh Jesus! I do believe. Sorry, the guy floating.
And like in the end, Venom is like the one character I have that like there's not technically a non-major option dealing with, because that guy in the end, like, that guy's got to go.
Right.
If you really want to keep, you know, like, if your idea of Solid Snake, like, not killing everything, there can be that alternate thing where you can have, like, Nolan kill him or something. Or, you know, something else. Like, there could be a workaround mechanic if you want to do, like, a pure, like, non-kill version of this whole thing.
No, I understand. Okay. Well, no, I do like the idea, though. I do believe that they could make a pretty damn decent Metal Gear if they didn't go with this one. I will say it's definitely a bit more radical, but I like it.
So, final thoughts about either idea you have?
I do think I do think both ideas could work very well. I do think mine obviously improves on this one vastly, while yours is a very different experience, but another very unique and very better put together experience than the ending, especially of this one is. Again, there's a lot of good, especially with the gameplay, and obviously we both kept a lot of the same gameplay mechanics because they did very well at gameplay in this one. But one of the biggest issues was that this is one of the first few Metal Gears, MR, that is kind of lacking in very good story, or any story at all in general.
Well, yeah. Well, before we get to like my final thoughts and everything, I just want to say, like, if you guys have any questions, now's the time about our pitches. Now's the time to like throw them out. But yeah, like going back to your, I like yours mainly because it freaking ends the game. Again, I feel like this game was a little unfinished. There was a surprising lack of Johnny in either of our pitches.
Well, I was gonna say, I'm thinking maybe it's more directed. I guess Johnny's not really moving really in this game anyway.
What about other Johnny from Metal Gear 3?
Oh, you mean like his granddad?
Yeah, the stand-in there.
Isn't he in like Portal Ops 2 or something?
He's in the background somewhere of Falco's pitch.
Okay, that's the dad. Okay, so the dad could be part of.
Okay, at the end of Falco's pitch, when like Venom is like walking around and everything, you see in the background somebody with a newspaper under their arm heading to a train. That's it. And then you just Grandpa Johnny there.
And you just hear, anybody got any paper? You know, it's okay. Oh well, then what about you? Because now you actually have Johnny in the future. I guess no Johnny, no Meryl.
It's like, yeah, Meryl's really not in this game either. Sorry to say.
7 gerbils, you gerbil
But that's mainly because, you know, Snake's kind of doing his best to hold up to that part of the idea and everything, and, like, she's done.
Okay, so
Yeah,
Johnny,
he doesn't want to bring her into this.
So Johnny and Meryl just kind of.
It's like, they're done, they're good. In fact, they're kind of helping Roy with his campaign. That's why that's another big part of it and everything, because like, you know, Snake is trying to end the war, and all the war stuff and everything his way, and you know, Campbell and Meryl and Johnny are trying to do it the other way, and hopefully they can marriage those two ideals together.
Okay, yeah.
The thing is, that's something that neither the boss or Big Boss did.
What about the monkey?
Unfortunately, one day they got lost in the jungle somewhere before the game. No. They ran out of resources, and so Snake Eater style, Snake decided to eat the monkey.
What the fuck? What the fuck? Oh my god, what the hell, man? Why are you gonna eat the monkey?
Not really, but I don't have any fun with the monkey. Probably not in this game.
Well, there's obviously no monkeys. Maybe we can find the monkey's grandfather.
He's in the background somewhere. Okay, the
He's
monkey.
taking a newspaper and
The monkey's in the background somewhere. That's it.
the monkey's in the background somewhere.
The monkey's in the background somewhere. He's probably like chilling at Snake's base or something.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and Snake's base again is like not a full-on outer haven. It's like much more scaled out, much more invested in like Sunny. She's probably like part of the intelligence thing, because again, like their agency is more heading towards intelligence.
So maybe a few years later, she'd probably be in her maybe her teen years.
And she's still super smart and everything.
Okay, so
She's on her way to being the new Otacon. Because Otacon was also like a kid genius too.
Well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
And like she's hanging out with him, so that way and everything. So, you know, Snake is taking his new group, who he's now calling Nirvana, again for the tie-in with that song and everything. And they're moving more from a military organization to an intelligence organization.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, that would be the place. Obviously, something's not. But that's good.
I would hope not, or else all of a sudden time travel is more involved in the story than it was before. Talk about time paradoxes.
I've come back from the future to tell you to not have kids. It's too late. Well,
It's like you missed a couple. You're off by a couple of years.
shit.
But yeah, going back to your idea, I like how it like still keeps the themes of the game, and we're working like again. Obviously, I say like Metal Gear Solid 5 feels like an unfinished game, and that's for obvious reasons because you know Kojima was like I don't want to say halfway, but like let's say 2/3 of the way through this game when all of a sudden he got a knock on his door. He opened up and there was a pink slip.
And they were like, "How long is our game going to be?" And he went, "I have a glorious 3-chapter finale. You got a chapter and a half." You know?
So that's why the game feels unfinished, because it is. Because he got his pink slip from Konami and he was like, okay, period, game over. That's all you assholes get.
We're firing you. We just want you to understand that it's just going in the direction. Alright, fine, I'll finish mine. Oh, and you no longer have, I'll just finish my game. I'm being like, oh, and you no longer have an option to use the executive bathrooms. And we're done. Game's done.
It's a big question here, and everything, going to your pitch and everything about like why you would keep the bulk of this or everything. Do you believe that this is a necessary story to tell?
I believe that it definitely helps fill in a little more of the gap between obviously his time in Peace Walker to one, which then also bridges the gap of why there is two big bosses and why you have to kill one, and he just shows up kind of fine and dandy in the second one. As far as Metal Gear, I think it's necessary enough because enough people wanted to know this kind of revelation of why he turned into such an asshole when Peace Walker didn't really answer that either. And this one, as much as this one doesn't fully just go straight out and be like, Big Boss is an asshole because he killed all these kids, it's more of an indirect of making this dude, you know, believe his whole life that he is him, like he went and he stole this guy's life from him, basically. And then, right when he was about to be a moment of triumph to really take his outer heaven out and make it as big as it was, the whole time Big Boss was doing his own freaking out of heaven that was twice the size. And oh, here you go. By the way, you're just a body double, and you're not good enough, and you're gonna get killed by my son.
Dick move.
Yeah. So I mean, I think it does. I think it does a lot. It does explain a lot better, and I do think it's definitely a more coherent, important story. I feel like, again, like the way the game is right now, it kind of starts like you're like, okay, this could be necessary, and then it just kind of.
And then in summation, like I already said earlier, is that I don't believe this story needed to tell. I feel like if you really wanted these answers, there could have been a Peace Walker too. Would have given the Vita something to do. And I personally feel like there was a little bit more merit just in a sequel to 4, just
because he's nodding over there because he's got a Vita and he wants something desperately to play on it.
Right now. Again, and I said like I felt like
I got a good selection, but I just want something new now.
Yeah. I would have felt there was more merit in doing a sequel to 4 because I find it interesting about where the world was left. And sure, it's a little bit lead getting Snake back out of the time, but that's why I left the years gap and everything. Because, you know, people, we evolve, we change our ideas and everything, and again, like, the world is getting worse, and I don't think, no matter how much Snake wanted to not fight, there's no way, if the world was getting to that bad of a point, he wouldn't.
His are is obviously, if it was left alone, he'd just be dead by now. But, especially in the Metal Gear Solid universe.
Well, in my version.
Well, no, I'm gonna say, in the Metal Gear Solid universe, it is not unheard of for a man who's just about to die. All of a sudden, be okay a couple years later and just fine. Which obviously he's still an old man and still kind of where he was, but he didn't get any older.
They're obviously slowing down because, like, again, game mechanics wise, I'm gonna have Nolan operating more like, you know, regular style Snake and everything. He's fast, he's agile, he's taking everything. You know, old Snake is a little bit more slower, a little bit more methodical. You know, has to maybe rely a little bit more on the gadgets and everything. You know, basically hard mode. But still not, you know, out of the woods just yet and everything. You know, he can go on this one last mission, basically. But to counterpoint for you, what?
When it comes to old men, you know, coming back to fucking
Nobody does.
Let's not even get started on the end on that one.
Yeah,
Solid Snake, Old Man Logan, basically.
I was gonna say you did take a decent amount of Old Man Logan sort of and kind of mixed it a little bit, but I love that story. So,
but anyway, getting to the heart of my pitch and everything is: do you think there is value in seeing what comes after 4? Like, do you think it's worth continuing the story, or would you have just kept it at the end of there?
I do, but I don't necessarily think it's good in the direction that Revengeance went. So if there was going to be a story, it would be a little more similar to yours. But it's definitely a harder story to tell because I don't think. I think with the way they were going and how they were doing it, I don't think they would bring Snake back. I think they would just, you know, kill him and he'd be done and we'd have to go on. I mean, nobody really explains what happened to him in Revengeance either, which leaves that gap. Obviously, everybody kind of expects he's dead. It's been some years, and he was only supposed to last another 6 months or so. So
I just think the writer just didn't want to talk about him because he's got his own shit to deal with.
Well, at the end of 4, like, he's dead. He's pretty much dead in a couple months. You just want to, like, live out his life. I was thinking nobody was talking about him because he's an old friend and he's dead. It's kind of a sore subject. But regardless, again, it's not unheard of for a Metal Gear Solid person to all of a sudden just be okay or be normal or
I got better.
Yeah, or I got better. Or Snake, how did you get better? Oh, this one doctor shoved me full of like 1 million stem cells, and now I look like I'm fucking 20.
Well, not quite there.
You know? Oh, I realized the whole time that I could have just turned my nanomachines into super mode and just kept myself living.
He's like at like late now.
It's like
it happens.
He's like at like 50s, you know, like for a guy looking good for a guy who took care of himself for most of his life.
Well, chances are, the way I see it is that if you're doing it the way you were saying, where he didn't really get any worse, but he didn't get any better, but he's just living kind of a normal life, he'd still look like he was 70.
Yeah.
But is at least not getting worse at this point because he kind of just got.
He's a good 70. It's like if he had had the chance to age gracefully, rather than extremely rapidly.
Which is what he got. But yeah. So he's kind of in that 70 range. He's kind of, he goes for a jog every morning, kind of 70.
Okay, before we sign out right here and everything, since we have Iggy here and everything, really quick, Iggy, whose idea did you like better?
Well,
Now we put him on the spot here.
You can get closer to the microphone. Or you can just flip your microphone forward. There you go.
I forgot I had a headset.
Well, the mic's just been muted. So.
Probably, I don't know.
But anyway,
It's supposed to
just
be
really quick. Just really quick.
No pressure.
Yeah. I like both of you guys' idea. You know, as a Metal Gear fan as well, but I would lean a little bit more on. I don't know.
It's.
Thank you very much.
You just.
Okay, so I think we'll call it there.
Ellen, he looked like he was still thinking for a second.
I like the captain's idea of how you just wrap it all up, but I would also like to see,
A
Justice's
continuation.
thing.
Yeah, a continuation a little bit. It sure beat the hell out of whatever Metal Gear Survive is going to be.
All hells to the yeah.
Yeah, because
And for older fans, I think this is a better note to if you're going to continue on or leave off and everything. It's a much better taste than Revengeance was for traditional fans. Even though I like Revengeance,
I'll be perfectly honest. Revengeance wasn't bad. It wasn't Metal Gear Solid.
but like we're
not
clinging on more. Yes.
It's just, yeah.
So now you guys can later comment about which ideas you like better, which aspects of ideas you like, and everything, and we can basically maybe get a discussion going here.
So yeah, once obviously our live stream's going on still at the very moment, but once it's over and you can go back and listen to both of our arguments again. You can comment which one you liked better, even if you have your own kind of theory of how this game should have went. Go ahead, put it in the comments. We'll read them, we'll look at them, and we'll see if any of them are as fun and cool as ours.
And as we said, this is the start of a whole new series where we look at a lot of different games. And so we'll
so close, just
we'll be looking at a lot of different games. So in the future, we'll come back with a lot of different games in the same vein of having great potential. And it won't always be me and Falco. We'll have all the rest of the people from the ZombieCorps giving in their ideas of different games. I mean, we'll have things like we don't have a list out yet. Everything, things like No Man's Sky.
It'll be
maybe Mass Effect Andromeda.
It'll be a couple of, obviously there'll be some games on there that are like Metal Gear 5, which are still pretty damn good games as they are, and still good games in general. That just need a couple. I know. Just need a couple of It just needs a couple of tweaking here and there, and then there'll be bombs of disappointment that we really could go over.
I need that too.
I know you do.
And we'll have all your ZombieCorps favorites and everything, and they'll give their pitches. We don't have an exact schedule for when the show will be back, but we'll try to get the information to you guys as soon as possible. We hope that you have enjoyed our little experiment here, taking a look at these games and, trying to present our creativity.
It's definitely a heck of a thing to try and come up with a giant kind of new direction, or at least building upon a direction that was already put in place. Mm-hmm. You're obviously more of the new direction, while mine's more of the building on the ground floor of what we got. But yeah, we'll be doing a lot more very soon, and
I had to do some research here. Appreciate that. I appreciate that.
I got all my research in my head.
He could call upon it. He had the index in his head here and everything.
I can't remember what I had for breakfast, but I will tell you exactly the same day that Big Boss, took a crap in the woods when he was waiting for,
He knows who that dude in the roller skates was. I forget his name. There you go.
And the reason he's called after that, after the name of the nuclear bombs, but Snake thinks Snake just calls him that because he thinks he's a fat man. I remember that specific conversation on the codec.
My idea Nolan would have a lot of gems like that because it's Nolan North. How are you not going to use Nolan North?
For some reason, every time you say Nolan North, even though I know exactly who Nolan North is, I just think of that stupid American Dad thing with Ollie North. I don't know why.
Also, for my idea and everything, if there had to be a sequel game to my idea, I don't have an idea yet of what it would be. Or who really, all I know is that the villain of the next game opposing Nolan North be Troy Baker. Mic drop.
Of course, yeah, of course. Because you don't have Troy Baker in yours, well, mine still has Troy Baker, so it's might as well put him still in there. I mean,
come on, Deadpool versus the Joker.
Oh,
that's true. I think he would do better in a different.
Well, he won't be the Joker, but still, Again, these two great guys coming up against each other.
I understand. I was gonna say I do think he'd do better in a different character than Ocelot. I feel he played Ocelot a little too cowboyish when Ocelot was trying to embody a little bit, but he had kind of he had a gruff. He was my fine single action army. I'm going to kill you with it because I can shoot really well. But
he was leaning into the fact
but Troy Baker was like, y'all gonna come back now.
I think he was leaning really into the roots of how Ocelot was designed. Basically he was modeled after those old Dollars movie stuff and everything, and those old school spaghetti westerns thing.
I think
Troy was in that area, but he was more leaning in towards the Hollywood westerns of that period, someone who's more comfortable in one of those John Wayne movies.
God.
So he was in the right, in the right genre, but not in the right half of the world.
Well, they probably told him, hey, he models himself after spaghetti westerns. He went, okay,
westerns, I gotcha. I said spaghetti westerns, I gotcha.
And then it was just all over.
But anyway, thank you very much.
You can't stop Troy Baker. He just goes.
Why would you want to?
Well, yeah, exactly. Most of the time, he goes right into the gold pile. This is the one time he accidentally veered off, and there was not a pile of manure, but I probably just say mud. And he didn't slam into it, but he went.
Anyway, thank you very much for being here with us and watching the birth of this new show. We'll be back with a couple of different new games in the coming future. Not just me and our guest Jay Justice here, but with JustIggy, with Frost, with obviously the Mack and Esteamo and El Squatcho. When we all get a chance, of course, maybe we can even get Johnny Grind to just do kind of a one over Skype or something, and we can go over games that he would like. Although I know he likes to deal more retro games. So in either case, probably a few retro games we can touch down on this too.
Yeah, that's true too.
Mm-hmm. But all these, I probably have a lot of ideas for some of these games coming up and everything. And again, we'll try to get that information to you guys as soon as possible. What our next one will be about.
Which one did we decide on?
I don't know. We'll decide on it later, and then we'll get that information.
We do know that in the very future we will be doing a No Man's Sky one. We also do know we will be doing a Resident Evil 6 one. Because 7, although might have a few interesting areas we can go with, I do really like 7. What I really want to go after is 6. The 6.
I probably will not be on that one. I have no affiliation with the Resident Evil franchise whatsoever.
We have a couple of masters of Resident Evil, including myself.
I haven't even played a Resident Evil game really, actually.
I
think I played a little bit of 4 with you, but not enough to do it.
You should play 1, 2, 3, 4. I would stay away as much as 5 is still not that bad. 5's kind of 6, stay away from it, and 7 that would be cool, but it's definitely like you can play that alone. You could do that one before all.
Sidebar: instead of doing Resident Evil 6, can you lump in Resident Evil 6 with the movie franchise?
I don't have.
That's a whole second stab onto itself. But anyway,
I don't have time for a 7-hour video. Okay, I will rip apart those movies like a ravenous chinchilla that's ready to kill. Okay, I know there's some people out there that love those movies. I would.
Okay, that's okay.
I can't even.
Okay, that's something. But
It's
anyway,
too much.
Anyway, okay, thank you for
It's
being
like Huey.
Good night, everybody.
Good night from the ZombieCorps. Make sure to like and subscribe to us today, and we will see you again very soon.
Sign us out, D-Dog.
Yeah. Goddamn.
Thanks for taking a picture, D-Dog.
So, what you think of Afterlife?
What? I don't want to. No.